This week on the Full Fat Podcast, we're diving into Doctor Who and the ending of BoJack Horseman, as well as all the things we've seen recently. You can catch it every Wednesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. The link is in the description below. I was nothing if not incredibly surprised by DC's Wonder Woman when it debuted in 2017. Man of Steel, BVS and Suicide Squad were not what I was hoping they would be, sorry. And Marvel was set to have its greatest year since 2014 with the release of not one, but 3 solid superhero flicks. Some might even argue 3 great superhero flicks. The gluttony of bad will that had been built up over the years from past DC movies, not to mention the character's somewhat half-baked extended cameo in BVS, meant I was expecting very little from Wonder Woman's solo outing. But oh boy was I wrong. Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman is a stunning period superhero action movie that carved out its own unique path while simultaneously elevating key moments from previous material. It didn't feel like a poor man's MCU movie, the action was delicious, and most importantly, it established key relationships and characterization that would make audiences love Diana Prince. Oh, and they beat Marvel to the punch with a female-led superhero movie almost a full 2 years earlier. That's pretty gangster, as the kids say. Do kids say that? I don't know. Anyway, what exactly makes Wonder Woman so good? The most readily apparent way this movie nails Diana Prince and the Amazons? The action. The first set piece on the beach is a stunning ballet of combat and acrobatics. As the Amazons ward off the invading World War I era German soldiers on the beaches of Themyscira, Jenkins and the team are keen to balance power and agility. There's a weightiness to their sword swings, but also a satisfying weightlessness as they leap and flip over their enemies. Oh, that was so awesome! I like that this movie isn't afraid to pull some ridiculous jumping manoeuvres and slow-mo. I feel like that's kind of become a bit of a dirty word in the genre. They feel sufficiently superhuman, but vulnerable at crucial moments. Diana is more of an observer here, having barely started her hero's journey, but later on in the movie we get to see her kick ass on her own terms, and it's like Jenkins took all of the good work in the beach scene and dialed it up to 11. One thing I think feels most unique about Diana in combat is the way she zips and slides across the room. It feels very Arkham Asylum in that sense. Her speed is unparalleled, and it's immensely satisfying when she makes contact with a bad guy and sends his shit flying out the nearest window. The slow-mo employed earlier makes a welcome return here, aping Zack Snyder's glorious visuals in 300. Again, I like how Jenkins isn't afraid to slow it all down, just so that we can get a good look at the move Diana is about to pull off. There's revelry in the spectacle, a joy to seeing sparks fly and swords swing, which too often get lost in action movies too preoccupied with shaky cam madness. 2 other little details about the action in this movie that I dig. 1. Diana has a great arsenal of weaponry and tools, and these scenes utilise them to their fullest. 1 second she's blocking bullets with her bracelets, the next she's messing up dudes with her sword and shield combo, and then before you know it she's cracking out the whip. I'm sorry, the lasso of truth. I guess you could say the truth hurts? 2. Diana's sidekicks are actually useful. Her band of merry men get stuck in during the action and actually help the outcome of the fight. I like how they've all got unique abilities and characteristics, like Charlie's sharpshooting or Samir's silver tongue, and they feel like a legitimate team that are stronger together than they are apart. But truly, the movie could have all that and still suck. Wonder Woman's strength as a fighter isn't really what this movie is about.
What if I didn't use a sword?
The movie spotlights Wonder Woman, the healer. Her strength comes from her intellect, her ability to conjure trust in just about anyone, inspiring people around her to nurture their best selves. It is her will and her empathy that strikes a chord through the heart of the movie. Right from the start, this duality between the warrior Diana and the healer Diana is at play when we meet young Diana. That's a lot of Diana in one sentence.
I pray they will never come where she has to fight. But you know, a wolf must hunt.
She is a child.
Antiope represents the warrior, encouraging Diana's desire to train, whilst Hippolyta embodies healing, wanting Diana to grow up happy and strong, but at the same time unaware of the potential danger in Ares' return.
You neglect your duty if she cannot fight.
You speak of a time that may never come.
I love her as you do. But this is the only way to truly protect her.
Antiope's realist approach wins out, and Diana indeed becomes a warrior. And whilst that side of it is important, it is her ability to connect with people that proves to win the day. And I think this also ties in very nicely with the romance between Diana and Captain Steve Trevor.
I am a spy! So I'm having difficulty controlling the volume of my voice!
Most films in the superhero genre, aside from a few instances, feature forgettable romantic subplots, often put in as part of a checklist requirement for a story, rather than being an essential component. But Diana and Steve's romance is woven directly into the movie's adventure, and Diana's journey as a character. Their tactics and view of the world stand diametrically opposed. Diana likes to face her enemies head on, she prides honour, and values the way the battle is won as much as the how.
Means he shoots people from very far away.
They never know what hit them.
You fight without honor.
Who gets paid for honor?
Steve is a spy who is, of course, willing to lie and use subterfuge to get the desired end result.
The millions of people you talked about, they will die.
We are going anyway.
You mean you were lying?
I'm a spy, that's what I do.
This dissonance crops up several times in the movie, and is often used to highlight the way in which Diana has found herself dropped into a man's world.
What is a secretary?
I go where he tells me to go and I do what he tells me to do.
Oh, well, where I'm from, that's called slavery.
I really like her.
Both of them have a fascination with each other's worlds and ways of living. For Diana, Steve's human world is backwards and all too eager to cut off its nose to spite its face and impede progress.
There's a woman in there. What are you doing?
If only they had stopped to truly listen, they would have known that they had the best warrior on the planet fighting for their cause. Steve recognises the technological advancements of Themyscira, but too sees aspects of that magical reality as backwards.
God of War is our responsibility. Only an Amazon can defeat him. With this. And once I do, the war will end.
He knows all too well that the evil of mankind is a trait unique to each individual. Attributing those evils to the work of a god solely is to take the responsibility of those evil deeds away from those who commit them.
Alive, it doesn't...
You cannot go into German High Command and kill anyone. You just can't. You have to trust me.
Both worlds, in many senses, are predicated upon traditions and conventions that both characters believe should be, because that's the way things are. Steve learns the value in wearing your heart on your sleeve, making grand gestures of heroism with the purpose of galvanising the people who face subjugation. Diana might already be a mighty force by herself, but the liberated village in the second act stands to better the lives of many thanks to what she has been able to prove to them. Diana learns that sometimes subterfuge and deception are powerful agents, both in the hands of the good guys and the bad. Willfully subscribing to basic concepts of good and evil, like the Amazons, leaves her open to attack from Ares when he reveals his true self. Steve's sacrifice proves that in spite of the potential in every person's heart to enact evil, the best of what a person can be is what is worth fighting for. People are evil of their own accord, but can be heroic by the same measure.
I wish we had more time.
What? What are you saying?
I love you.
The way the movie navigates love and sex through both characters is tasteful, interesting, and often quite charming and entertaining.
Yes, we sleep. We just don't sleep with,
You don't sleep with women.
No, I mean, I do sleep with... I sleep with...
Diana is naive to these concepts, but not in a pixie dream girl way.
I get married, make some babies, grow old together.
What is it like?
I have no idea.
She learns throughout the movie the more she is exposed to the world beyond Themyscira, she makes informed choices based on these experiences, and as Steve and her fall for each other, makes the decision to pursue her romantic desires. I find it sweet without being saccharine, but no matter how fun or integral to this story Steve Trevor is, it never detracts from the fact that this is Diana's story. It's her journey, both internal and external, and that drives the entire movie. Jenkins made sure that every supporting character on said journey propagates Diana's story in some small way. Everyone has a characteristic or added texture to their character that makes you see them differently and gives them so much more humanity.
Me? I am an actor. I love acting. I didn't want to be a soldier, but I'm the wrong color.
The last war took everything from my people. We have nothing left. At least here, I'm free.
Or in some cases, to show their humanity is distinctly lacking.
But the mask won't help.
They don't know that.
That's a great moment. I always get a laugh out of that. It also retroactively makes the photograph tease in BVS more rewarding. Now that we've seen the story behind it, and actually like all these characters, there's something bittersweet to it, knowing that all of them bar Diana were destined to live out their lives in the last century, whilst she never ages. It's rare that a tease in a previous movie ends up paying off like this. Diana's sword also serves the theme of warrior versus healer. At the start of the movie, it's a Mjolnir-esque figure in the story, its powerful significance to destroy marked by the subtle title, the God Killer. When Diana begins her journey, the first thing she does is retrieve it. At this point in her origin, it's warrior first. The sword proves tremendously effective until she finally comes face to face with Ares, who effortlessly eradicates the one item Diana was led to believe she could destroy him with. This symbol for war and destruction is shattered, literally, so that the best version of Diana can rise. Literally. Diana is the one who can stop Ares, not a random weapon. By the end, weapons are unimportant. Jenkins stated in the upcoming 1984 that Diana won't use her sword or shield, and I think that makes perfect sense. I don't get why people are annoyed. That movie is directly following up this one, where her sword was destroyed as part of her actualization, so why would she start using a new one again? Besides, I don't think it means the sword is gone for good, she's just no longer fighting in a war zone. Is she really going to stab some dudes in the middle of a shopping mall? Come on. All of these ideas explored in the movie hit their stride and fire on all cylinders in what is the best moment of the movie, the no man's land scene. When passing through the front line to reach their objective, Diana becomes convinced that the team must help the soldiers.
It's not possible.
So what? So we do nothing?
No, we are doing something. We just... We can't save everyone in this war.
Steve is right, but he's also wrong. Diana is no mere mortal man, and doing this act now might not stop an entire army, but it will help those in need, and that to her is worth it.
This is not what we came here to do.
No, but it's what I'm going to do.
Seeing Diana choose to do whatever it takes, donning the iconic tiara, before literally taking on the front line herself, absorbing the brunt of every single bullet with nothing but her trusty shield, is one of my favourite superhero origin moments. Of course, there are some things I don't like about the movie. The final battle sounds exciting in concept, but it kind of devolves into a bit of a CGI snooze fest. I'd have much rather Ares had remained in the form of charming British actor David Thewlis, and the airfield is just a little boring. But overall, that doesn't detract from the experience I have watching 2017's Wonder Woman, and I'm excited to see where Jenkins and the team take the character in the sequel. I thought the trailer made it look really fun, I'm down for the setting, I don't get the Thor Ragnarok comparisons, like movies had wacky colours in them before that, you know? I typically hate resurrection in storytelling, but if Steve Trevor is back thanks to wish granting, I actually kind of like that, and I think it's kind of interesting. And it appears that tampering with these powerful magical forces to wish things into reality will have a clear cost too. It's not like, oh, say, a scientific apparatus that cures gunshot wounds to the head and has no downsides, and you can use it willy-nilly. Wonder Woman 1984 should be the best movie in the canon of Pedro Pascal action-adventure movies that feature resurrection and lasso choreography. But Wonder Woman, unfortunately, didn't save things for the DCEU. All of the good work put in by this movie was very nearly tarnished just a few months later with the release of Justice League. An awful, confused mess. A hodgepodge of two directors' visions, so blatantly stitched together, a movie so bad it caused Ben Affleck to leave the role of the Bat, and Cavill to possibly do the same with Superman, we're still not sure yet. But rest assured, there is another. A DCEU solo movie to rival the quality of Wonder Woman, whilst also being utterly bonkers, and featuring the musical talents of one Armando Christian Perez. The music in this video was provided by Sam Kim. You can check out more of his awesome work over at his channel, the link is in the description below. Thank you for watching another Full Fat video. If you'd like to see more from Full Fat videos, why not follow us on Instagram and Twitter? Please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. We've got some cool exclusive content on there. Thank you to our $100 patrons, Dr. Chike and Jax Merrick. Chris and I really appreciate it. Until next time, stay milky.